heavy lies the crown, sort of thing.
All right, good evening, everyone. Jason O'Brien here with our 18th year predicting the Oscars here on YouTube. We did it for years and years as a podcast on BlogTalkRadio, and here we are, I think, our 5th year with our Oscar prediction special for this year. And unlike so many other of the YouTube prediction specials, they're all out there. We actually have clips from the movies. We have the performances. We have behind-the-scenes stuff so that we want to make this show longer than the Oscars is our goal. So yes, indeed, we are here. Now, where did Jamey go? As soon as we intro the show, I'm telling you, this I asked before we started. It's like, all right, is everybody ready? Okay, well, I'll introduce my other co-hosts. Of course, we have Garney Johnson. How you doing this year, Garney?
Fantastic. Cheers.
Good to
to my
hear.
Water.
Yes. And, of course, we have Mark Johnson, no relation. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good. Hope you guys
Good to
are
hear.
too.
Yes, it's good to hear. And Jamey, who was just lamenting that, he misses us when, we only do this once a year. And, of course, he's showing how much he misses us by leaving. Jamey,
I had to get a pillow so I could be raised a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the problem, is you were too low. But, yes, it is Jamey Duvall. How are you doing, Jamey?
If I was too low, I wouldn't be on this. But, yeah. How are you?
I'm fine, man. I'm doing great. It's that time of year again, and but I think one thing that we all kind of agree on, Jamey, I don't know about you, but this was kind of a lackluster year for movies, don't you agree? Not one of our greatest years.
Out of the ones I saw, yes.
Yes, there is that. But Garney, you and I have talked a little bit, and we kind of agreed it wasn't one of our. But it creates for an interesting. There are a lot more categories hard to predict this year, so I'm very interested to see what we do this year. It seems like the year to take more risks, which means we'll probably really suck. But
We're going to have some low scores this year, I think.
I have a feeling, yes.
I think 16-17 is going to be considered a good year.
Yeah, it's tough. I made these final predictions today, and I don't feel good about half of them. So, anyway. But before we get to those predictions, we also have a tradition that's gone back to the beginnings of this show, and that's that Garney has come up with a medley of, I wonder if a lot of people even remember the old Billy Crystal medleys, That was such a great way to open the Oscars, and so Garney works hard every year, usually up till the last minute. Yes. So do you want to preview this for us, Garney? What?
No, I'd rather it just stay a complete unknown.
Nice. Very nice. All right, so here's Garney's medley to get us kicked off this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Dylan. It's a wonderful night for Oscar, Oscar, Oscar. Who will win? The 10 films nominated for Best Picture in alphabetical order. Annie from the strip club, bathing in the bathtub. Vanya lights a big spark, wealthy Russian oligarch. They head out to Vegas, more booze, sex, dope. They decide to elope, such a slippery slope. But he'll flee for his parents' see. Who knows where, but they're gonna find him there. After covering all of Brooklyn, everywhere they're looking. Going for a spin with those 3 henchmen. Now we're thinking Sean Baker has Oscars to win. Hungarian architect, please build something for me. I've got money, and my ego keeps inflating. Hungarian architect built something for me. I find our conversations intellectually stimulating. Please honor my dead mother with a fancy institute. Though you're in disrepute, and you have a niece who's mute, we tolerate you. Your brutalism is divine, it's quite a sight to see. A Jewish refugee, but your pain and misery will not deflate you. Hey, Mr. Brady Corbet, your film is so long, and we'll watch it, but we have one condition. With movie concession stands that sell us drinks so large, this almost 4-hour movie needs a built-in intermission. When you were a teen and your face was clean, you shot a sexy scene that was between a peach and you. It upped your game and brought you fame. Like you it came. All your dream roles were in reach of you. Had the world in a spoon. Landed yourself the lead role in Dune. Next came your chance to croon classic Bob Dylan tunes. Much wilder than Wonka, you made film history. Oh, Timothy. Well, hey, did you see how your odds have grown to bring an Oscar home for a complete unknown? It's time to sequester cardinals and nuns. The big doors are closing, the conclave's begun, and they won't go outside until the voting is done. Pick a side and get to colluding. Who knew that religion would be this much fun when the Pope they are a-choosing? It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, Denis, you ain't won an Oscar by now. Maybe you'll just have to wait for Dune 3 or get snubbed again somehow. With all the incredible films you've made, with stunning direction and great screenplays, Arrival might be the best film from an entire decade. Will Dune lose twice? That's not right. A drug cartel and an attorney make a deal to start this crazy journey. Why it's a musical, it's hard to explain. It's got songs, if you can call them that. Even Zoe Saldana busts out a Spanish rap. 13 nominations, seems downright insane. And that brings us to Carla Sofia Gascon, with her social media history that's just plain wrong. One song in particular is quite strange, listing out all the procedures by name for Amelia Perez to get a sex change. all of the crimes against humanity. How can you measure the cost? And how can your mother console her kids after their father is lost? And why did those men come and take him away? How many lines have been crossed? The answer, I fear, will never become clear. You can tell just by watching I'm still here. A bright teenager with a bright future. Elwood was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He gets locked up in Nickel Academy, though he didn't do any crime. Here comes the story of the Nickel Boys, racial injustice that must be destroyed. Something you'll come to realize when you see the world through their eyes. You know it's gonna shock you to your very core. Substance gives you Margaret Qualley out of the back of Demi Moore. Their bodies are a timeshare, basically. Let's see what the substance has in store. Face down naked on the bathroom floor, just exactly like the week before. Face down naked on the bathroom floor. The substance is a movie you can't ignore. You must leave Oz, get your black hat and get out quick. So say goodbye to Glinda and get on your magic broomstick. A wizard isn't what you'd hoped he'd be. Made you everyone's common enemy. Being green was always your stigma. Now you're the wicked witch, Elphaba. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts, close my eyes, and leap. It's time to make some Oscar predictions. Garney and Mark and Jason O'Brien, also Jamey Duvall. Bob, take it away.
Very well done, Garney.
Nice job, Garney.
I was curious if you would go the Dylan route or the Wicked route, since you had, or you could have gone an Amelia Perez music route. That could have been interesting.
I just knew you wanted me to do it the way you wanted me to do it.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Just have me sing medleys for the rest of my goddamn life.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, well, let's get this started. As another tradition that we always have on the show, like we kind of order the Oscar category predictions in the order that typically a movie is put together. So let's get started with the screenplay categories.
Son is a fucking pussy.
What?
What? What? What?
And-
Did you not hear what I said? I said it's because your son's a fucking pussy.
Все, пошли.
And you are discussing hooker.
And your son hates you so much he married one to piss you off.
Listen up. What do you say?
I would like to draw something and present it to you.
You'd like to win the commission. All right, you can do that.
Yes, in fact, she used to tell me that, like, first-generation immigrants work some, like, menial job. They drive cabs, they deliver food. Second generation, they go to good schools, and they become, like, a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. And the third generation lives in their mother's basement and smokes pot all day. I mean...
She said that?
I think she was, like, just speaking generally about, like, the immigrant experience.
I lived in my mom's basement.
She was just talking about immigrants.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
We're following the story wherever it takes us.
All right, then let me ask you this. Black September, they know the whole world is watching, right? That's why they chose the Olympics. If they shoot someone on live television, right, whose story is that?
Is there a problem?
No, it's perfect. You're a good candidate. I mean, you're good to go. I wish you the best.
No, original screenplay. So, Garney, you get us started this year.
I'm honored to be the first person this year, even though, as we talked about, the year wasn't great for film. The Oscar races have been interesting. There aren't a lot of sure things, and I'm not confident on this, but I'm thinking a Real Pain takes this one. I just feel like the actors are such a large percentage of the voting body, and that helped Billy Bob Thornton win for Sling Blade back in the 90s, and Emma Thompson for Sense and Sensibility. And so I think that 30 years later, we're going to see that kick back. And Jesse Eisenberg, I think it's just that Kieran Culkin is just going to bring that award. I think a lot of people will find that they appreciate Real Pain more on a second viewing, like I did.
All right. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, so it's funny that we're starting with original screenplay because to me this is the hardest category on the entire night. I still haven't I'm writing up my final predictions piece, and I have 19 of the 23 done. I always write them in order of what I think is going to be easiest to hardest. This is dead last. So I'm not done writing this one, and I may change my mind because I do like A Real Pain, and I do think that is a great prediction here. Right now, if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Anora. It's going to have to win something, and I'm not sure it wins anything else. Spoiler alert.
Look at that brief.
But I think right now I'd lean that way, yeah. But Garney makes great points about A Real Pain.
All right, Jamie?
It's cool that September 5th got nominated. I was looking forward to watching that, so I can watch it tomorrow because it's on Paramount Plus or somewhere.
It's a great one.
It is good.
I think it's between Anora and The Brutalist, and I think third place is A Real Pain. However, I don't think the script for Anora is like you don't think about in the brilliance of that movie if you like it. The script isn't the first thing that comes to mind. And honestly, if the movie has a flaw, it drags a lot when they're looking for him. That whole sequence goes on far too long. I was okay with the torturing her in the house. Well, because that's a really long scene too.
I'm glad you were okay with that, Jamie.
I thought that that scene went long because that was the experiment. Let's see how long we could drag this out as a kind of a bubbling kind of comedic thing. Yeah. But that third act goes on a while. But I'm going to go Brutalist. Brutalist just because of the ambition.
Okay. Well, this is tough. I agree with you, Mark. This is an incredibly tough category. The thing that kind of convinced me with A Real Pain also, besides what Garney was saying, was also that it won at the BAFTAs. Because he won screenplay at the BAFTAs, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And that one kind of surprised me. So yeah, this was one of my favorite films of the year, and I do think also it'll be a way to honor that film. I would feel better about it if it had gotten a Best Picture nomination, but at the end of it, I think, yeah, Real Pain will win here. Plus, Sean Baker's got so many nominations this year. He's got editing, he's got producing, he's got directing. So I don't see him winning every single one that he's up for. But
all right, Mark, what was the last Best Picture winner, or what was the last Best Screenplay winner that wasn't even up for Best Picture?
Oh God, somebody asked me that the other day. It's
that's a tough one. Why you gotta?
You have to go back.
Let me look
before
at my
the 10.
files.
I know that.
So it's a rarity.
I don't remember, but somebody mentioned it the other day. So I apologize. I can't come.
Yeah, I read it in like a Variety.
Yeah, it was probably Clayton. It was probably Clayton that told
Yeah.
me, and it's slipping my mind.
It'll come to you. You got the whole show
Yeah,
marked to
probably
research.
will.
So
Then I'll pop in there. I'll be like,
one thing about Eisenberg winning the award made me think about with the BAFTA is also Eisenberg has been in front of voters because he's been accepting on behalf of Kieran at a lot of places. So
That's
he's
true.
getting like double exposure. And every time he accepts an award, he's saying something different, witty and self-deprecating. One of my favorite jokes at the Spirit Awards, where he also won, is A.D. Bryant says, Jesse Eisenberg, I bet you're nervous. Not about winning. You just seem like someone who's
always nervous.
Base level nervous.
Yes.
I found it.
Look at that, Mark. So quick.
Sasha actually mentioned this. It's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Before it expanded to 10.
Yep.
Right. And that's the thing, like when we're talking about some of these stats, like you got to remember the 5 Best Picture nominees versus 10 is casts a much wider net for what could happen and not happen. So.
All right, let's go to the other screenplay category, adapted screenplay.
This is Becca, by the way.
Nice to meet you. This is my wife, Toshi.
Nice to meet you. I absolutely love your music. I'm such a big fan, Mr. Seeger.
Pete. Harold's putting the lean on you there? Trying to get you to play?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, well, don't hold it against him. It's for a good cause. Want to use this beauty?
They always keep it handy, huh, Pete?
So I still have hope. No. There is no hope. After such a public scene, there will be rumors, and you know what the Curia is like. Nothing terrifies our colleagues more than the thought of yet more sexual scandals.
¿Qué haces por acá?
Tengo mis negocios en Londres.
No te hagas pendeja. ¿Mandaste a alguien a rastrearme?
A nadie, tranquila.
No reconozco tu voz.
¿Solo mi voz?
What are they feeding y'all? You can't muster a bigger hug than that. I'm gonna expect it next time, Tony.
Yes, ma'am. I'll see how we'll guess this.
The world expects brothers like you and I, all these brothers, to walk in with our heads held down, apologizing for being there. Nah, what you gotta walk in is like a motherfucking king. Like you own all this shit. Everything is yours.
All right, adapted screenplay, Mark. You can get us started on this one. This one might be a little easier.
Yeah, so it won Scripter, BAFTA, the Globe, Critics' Choice, and was not eligible at WGA, or else it would have swept. I'm going with Conclave.
Very nice. Jamie?
Adapted screenplay.
Yes.
Yeah. Conclave. I think the same thing.
All right, I got to agree. I think. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
I forgot to mention it also won USC Scripter, which is a huge precursor. Sorry.
Very nice.
I thought you opened with Scripter.
Did I? I might have.
I think that was the first thing you said.
Tired. I'm old and tired. I forget things.
Man, between like Jamey won't go see The Brutalist because he's got to pee too much. Damn. Okay, I gotta agree. I think this one is one of the easier ones. I think this is easily Conclave with all the ones that it's won before this, and certainly there's a lot of love for Conclave. So this is definitely one that's going to win. So, Garney, do you agree?
I do agree, and I would like to request that every time Jamey is going to predict Conclave, that he takes out the vape.
Yeah, that's good.
Very nice, yes. All right, so now let's go to the other categories of different kinds of films that get nominated. Documentaries, the short films, of course. So let's take a look at documentary feature.
警察にも知り合いが安倍総理とかそういう方とも接しているので
組織の上の方から逮捕するのやめろって。
これからの伊藤さんの将来も危うくなっちゃうんですよ。
بيكون كتير حلو إذا بصير بعدين انتوا بتيجوا تزوروني مش أنا بزوركم ولا لا؟
ولا شو تفكر؟ لو أنت مكاني شو تفكر؟
Серед іншого письменників, музикантів, вчителів, художників.
Вони мають бути навчені настільки добре, настільки це можливо у цих умовах.
Коли вони стирають цих людей, вони стирають Україну.
Your story is someone who was abandoned, but also who abandoned.
You do know what happened with me, right?
I want to know the whole story.
All right, I'll get us started in this category. We were talking before the show. I'm ashamed to admit that this is the first year I have not seen a single one of the documentary feature nominees.
Wait a minute.
All my favorite documentaries.
It says that I start with this.
No, it doesn't. Oh, yes, yeah. I'm sorry, Jamey. Damn it. I got excited. I was looking at the next one. And,
do you want me to email you your prediction?
No. I'm just glad you're using it this year, like usually. Okay, well, let's start that over. Okay. So, Jamey, get us started on documentary feature.
I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen any of these. I usually watch documentaries religiously. I haven't even heard of many of these. I liked, back in the Showtime days, I liked Red Shoe Diaries, so I would imagine that sequel is Black Box Diaries is pretty damn good.
Yes.
Hey, you really don't know what that movie's about? That's a really tasteless joke.
It really is.
Is it Black Box on a plane? Like, is it a plane?
No.
What is it?
It's about a victim of sexual abuse.
Yeah.
God, Jamey.
Jason, I'm sorry. It says you go first. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
Sorry, I wouldn't have made that joke had I known that.
You know, I love this time of year also because it's an education for Jamey on these movies. You know? He can also find out some about the movies he's actually seen, like Conclave. You know?
The only thing I know about is a soundtrack to a coup d'état. That's the only film I know.
Are you going to?
I would imagine that's probably the one that has the most name recognition, but I'm going to go with No Other Land. Thank you.
Okay, I like your logic as you circled around to that one. Okay, as I was saying when I thought I was going to open with this category, yes, I also have not seen these, but I have heard of them, and I did know what Black Box Diaries was about. Because I at least watched the trailers for these, so I could get some idea.
I really thought of Red Shoe.
It's okay, Jamey. I mean, you know, it's okay when you don't know the joke you're telling. You know? Like, you don't really know what the ramifications are.
I'm just surprised you didn't go for box on that.
Yeah, it's true. Don't get him started, Garney. Don't.
Right.
Yeah, this one, I'm going with No Other Land also because I feel like the narrative around it is, and the fact that they still don't have a U.S. distributor for this, and they're having to market this in their own theaters and things like that. So if people can see it, yeah, they haven't got a U.S. distributor yet, so they're actually booking theaters for it and trying to get U.S. distribution. But I think the timeliness of the issue with the Palestinian-Israeli thing, I think I've heard a lot of good things about Porcelain War too, because that's about Ukraine, correct?
Right.
If I remember right, yeah. Okay. But I'll go with No Other Land. I think that one may win here. How about you, Garney?
Yeah, Porcelain War is the one that I actually managed to see in a theater. This is the only category where I have not seen everything nominated because I don't live in New York and I don't have access to the Academy portal, so I have not seen No Other Land. And I have not seen soundtrack to Coup d'etat. But yeah, No Other Land, I think, is going to win. I think this is clearly an opportunity for the voters to also help that film get a distributor.
Now, what voters see the vote on the documentaries?
The what?
The
What
winners,
subset
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I think it's just
They've
the
changed it now.
nominees. Yeah, the nominees are voted on, I think, by the documentary branch, but then the winners
That's right.
are everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a different committee that decides the short list of the 15 that then
Yeah.
go into another larger branch that narrows it down to 5.
How many do you think are going to bother watching it?
Of the documentary
Hard to say.
people or of the
Voters? How many people are actually going to bother to watch it?
They're supposed to abstain if they haven't seen them all. So.
Okay, I'm sure they're. I'm sure they can be held to task on that.
Yes.
For sure, right? They get receipts.
But like Jason said, there's a newsworthiness with the.
Because if there's one thing Hollywood's famous for, it's abstaining, abstaining from things.
Yes. God. Okay, Mark, are you in agreement on No Other Land, or?
I am not.
Have you seen all these?
I have. I've seen. I didn't see soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, so the one Jamey saw is the one I didn't see. I just never got around to it. I don't know. Just
It happens.
I don't know. It's a rough year for me for film, like you were saying. So, somewhere along the lines, the motivation started to decrease. But I've heard it's really good, and I've heard it could win soundtrack to Coup d'etat. But I'm going Porcelain War. I have first of all, I love that movie. It's my personal favorite documentary of the year. But I do have some theories about No Other Land and why it's maybe not getting distribution, and it may be what keeps it eventually from winning. Not to get too political into things, but it does take a little bit of a pro-Palestinian approach, and I wonder how much. Yeah, it's a beautiful film, and it's a great story, and if you don't have a side, I think you would probably enjoy it. But I think
wasn't it made though by an Israeli and a Palestinian?
It is.
Okay, I thought I read that.
That's what's so cool about it is it's a coming together kind of a good peace offering kind of thing. But I don't know. I think there's just a lot of strong.
Well, in what sense
feelings.
though? I mean, is it pro-Palestinian or is it?
It focuses on. It focuses
pro
on
Hamas would be the controversial thing, but let's stop killing people on both sides would be
right, but
including innocent Palestinians.
It does a little bit more of focusing on the Israeli occupation, the bad things of the Israeli occupation
outside of October 6th.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I have a feeling. Plus, Porcelain War is a beautiful film about artists. Set in
artists that make china or what?
Yeah, they paint on all sorts of different little things, and they leave them around the Ukraine. But then it also dives into the war, and you get some really incredible footage of some battle scenes and stuff.
Wait a minute, Porcelain War is about people that paint china and they're in war. What is it about?
They're in the Ukraine.
Yeah, it's in Ukraine.
It's very delicate. That it's easy to take apart, but impossible to completely destroy.
Oh, okay.
And so it's these group. But what's interesting in the documentary is also it shows how these artists are also training to defend their nation. So you get footage of that as well as the footage of their art and their great dog named Frodo.
And didn't they make it?
It would be my vote out of the 3 that I've seen.
And didn't I see like one of the promo pictures of it? It looks like someone made a Bubo the owl. Was I the only one that thought of?
That's the it is.
Yeah, the owl looks like Bubo
I don't know
from
that
Clash
anybody
of the
knows,
Titans.
but right. Like I don't know how many people will know that reference, but yeah,
I know
it does look like Bobo.
Yes.
I got to meet them in Nantucket.
You got to meet Bobo?
I didn't. Well, not Bobo, but I met Frodo the dog and the two main players in the documentary, and so I'm very biased when it comes to that one. So I was so happy to see it get nominated, and I'm gonna ride it out with it. I think it's one of the harder to call races on the night, though.
I definitely think it has the best chance of the upset.
Mm-hmm.
Porcelain War has the best chance. What would it upset? No other
land.
Northernland is pretty much the favorite.
It's the favorite.
I think it's been both of them have been talked about. So
yeah, if there's a favorite.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the short film categories.
Maybe if I meet 10,000 more people, your face will not be so clearly imprinted in my mind. But you will not be so lucky. You will not be able to forget mine.
I made the most changes I could. I bettered myself as much as I could, and that's enough.
Sarge, that's me. You? Yeah. Pull the gun out.
Only Oren is one of the girls. The only girl, in fact, in the 104-member orchestra, a situation unique at the Philharmonic, so there is yet no place for her to dress.
They said I'm likely to be approved, okay? We haven't done anything wrong. We did everything they said.
और अगर तू मेरी मदद करेगी तो मैं तुझे कल बताऊंगी.
Ungathanda njani uhamba nami siyokubona umkhombe wekwenyani ke kodwa.
Ewe ndingavuya ndakucela.
Co radzicie? Ja nemam dokumenta.
Koen! Koen! Mannen, ik ben hier, hè. Hallo?
Hi, little friends. Are you still there?
C'est dégoûtant.
All right, this is where I will get us started. Okay, so we have no colons in any of the title for Jamey's benefit. So documentary short subject. This year I saw all of these except Death by Numbers. And these are tough categories as well. I Am Ready Warden, I feel like could possibly win.
That sounds like it has a colon in it. I mean,
it has a comma. It has a comma.
I'm Ready Warden.
It's the only title with punctuation.
It does have punctuation.
It does have punctuation in it.
No, if it's a prison movie, it should have a colon in it.
Jesus. Man, you're on fire tonight, Jamey. I tell you what. So I kind of thought of that. I really like The Only Girl in the Orchestra. They tend to like these music kind of documentaries too. I thought it was good. Instruments of a Beating Heart, I actually saw at a festival before this. This is actually the first year I saw two of these films at festivals before the nominations. One of them is in the live action short. But I'm going to go with Incident. I felt like, the way that they, it's another timely issue of a police shooting, but the way that they combined all the, the webcams that were around the area and the body cam footage, and put it in kind of a real-time kind of thing was something unique, I thought. And so I think it could be either one of those two, but I'll go with Incident. And then for live-action short film, I'm Not a Robot was a delight. That was another one I saw at a festival. I would love for that to win, but live-action short film tends to be the more downer films, it seems. Alien, again, is very timely with, the ice stuff and... but I'm going to go with The Man Who Cannot Remain Silent. And again, I haven't seen this one, but from what I've heard, this one has a really strong story to it. So that's my pick there. And for animated short film, I did see all of these, just saw them this past weekend. Not as great as past years. Magic Candies is delightful. It's fun. Yuck is cute, even though the animation style is not that great. I can see this, I think it's between maybe In the Shadow of the Cypress and Wander to Wonder. In the Shadow of the Cypress was really moving. But Wander to Wonder, I really kind of like, and that also won a BAFTA, I believe, for short film. That one, it's weird, but it's really unique, and I liked it a lot. And I don't know, that one I feel, so I'm picking that one. So Garney, run us down with your picks for the short films.
Didn't Wander to Wonder also win at the Annie Awards?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I've seen all these as well. I went to the documentary collection just to see Death by Numbers, and it was my least favorite.
I've heard that, actually.
Awesome.
I've heard that by
Yeah,
most
that
people that saw him, yeah.
Incident and Alien and In the Shadows of Cypress. It's interesting that animated...
These are your picks,
so
Garney?
much... Huh?
These are your picks?
Yeah, that's what I'm predicting.
Oh, okay. You can't go that
That's what I'm
fast, man.
predicting. And I would vote that way, except for animated. My favorite was Beautiful Men.
That one was interesting.
Waiting for the joke from Jamie.
I'm thinking it.
Okay.
He's thinking it.
And
Wait, what was your live-action short pick?
Alien.
Oh, okay.
So we're sure it's Alien and not Aline?
I think it's still pronounced Alien. I don't quite know why they put it like that.
I don't know.
I couldn't. I thought maybe the film would.
That's a good question. I didn't even think about.
Yeah, because that's what I thought too.
I just assumed it was Alien.
Yeah, that'd be cool if it were
I
an
always
extra.
thought it was
If it were like an extraterrestrial who was kicked out of his home,
Right.
or something, whose home was repossessed or something.
And wait, what was your animated short film pick?
In the Shadow of the Cypress. That's
Okay.
the one I'm really going to get into talking about,
Okay.
because it's the only one that is completely told through animation. There isn't any. There's no dialogue, and it's its own animation style, so it sets it apart from the rest. And I think that's what's going to give it the edge in this insignificant year.
Okay. All right, Mark. What do you think in these short categories?
I'm still kind of on the fence on a couple, but I'm probably going to take I Am Ready Warden for Doc Short.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm probably going to take Aline or Alien or whatever we're saying, because I think, Jason, you mentioned it's so timely. I don't know how they don't vote for it.
Yeah.
And Wonder to Wonder, it's the only of the three. It's the only one where we have, at least we know there's people that like it, because BAFTA and Annie's both awarded it. So, you know, I like Yuck is my favorite. I loved it.
It was cute.
Yeah, it's very cute, and I also like Magic Candies, which you mentioned, and you know,
it's fun.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
All right, Jamie, and I'm sure you've seen all of these, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go with I'll go with Instruments of a Beating Heart, because it has the most elegant title.
So you're picking Instruments of a Beating Heart now.
Instruments of a Beating Heart. It's the only review I have on Letterboxd that has more than 100 likes. It was a 2-word review.
Nice.
Strong symbolism. But symbolism is spelled Cymbal.
Wow, nice job. That's my favorite of the five.
It's my favorite too.
Yeah.
But I would still vote for Incident because of what we talked about.
And then for a live action short, I'll go with the Man Who Cannot Remain Silent.
Okay.
And then I'll go with In the Shadow of the Cypress.
Very
I'm
nice.
going for the most elegant titles in those three categories.
Hey, sometimes that can work, man.
The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent, I think, is the most impressively made.
That's what I've heard. I really wanted to see that one, but from what I've read,
Generally, the short films go to something in English, and that year that's Alien.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not in English.
The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent is not in English.
But if he did remain silent, people would not know it wasn't in English.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Okay. All right, let's go to Jamie's favorite category, animated feature film.
Riley's life requires more sophisticated emotions than all of you.
You can't just bottle us up!
We are suppressed emotions!
Childhood was life's best season. It never lasts, but everyone deserves one.
Who could possibly be behind all this?
Sometimes to survive,
We must become more than we were programmed to be.
All right, Garney, you get us started here.
Yes, and this is a category where I am passionate about one of the nominees, and that's flow. And I think that I am hoping that enough voters saw it to share that passion. I know it's a risky pick, but I'm taking flow over Wild Robot.
You're brave, Garney. All right, Mark?
I have to remain loyal to my Critics' Choice Awards table and pick the Wild Robot.
Yes, for anybody that doesn't know, Mark got to sit at the Wild Robot table at the Critics' Choice Awards. So he's riding them the whole season.
Very nice people, so yes, the Wild Robot.
Didn't the Wild Robot, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but didn't the Wild Robot, like, hit one of the animals in the beginning? Or, like...
Yeah.
So, last year you were at the table with King Richard before Will Smith hit someone.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple years ago, yeah.
A couple years ago. Yeah, okay.
Nice. Okay, Jamey, I'm sure you've seen all of these.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with flow because I always... What studio is this?
It's from Latvia. It's a foreign film.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Disney, and they're always so great at tackling difficult subjects, but having it be really relatable and digestible for young people. And I thought the story of the first menstrual cycle is just beautifully told.
You know, I somehow had it in my mind that you might make a joke like that, but it was just okay. Maybe Jamey won't go that way.
And what's funny is they actually did Inside Out 2 about a girl dealing with her first menstrual cycle. And that was the #1 grossing movie of the year.
Oh my god. Okay, Jamey goes with flow.
Leading money all the way to the bank.
And then the story of my puberty was Memoir of a Snail. That was also very.
Yes. Oh my god.
But it's between Flow and Wild Robot, pretty much, right? Shouldn't it be?
Oh yeah,
probably.
for sure. I mean,
Wild
Wallace and
Robot,
Gromit won a lot at BAFTA, but that was to be expected.
Okay. And Wild Robot, I don't know if Flow's available streaming yet, is it?
It just came out on Max.
Yeah, it's just on Max now. Jamey, I think you will even love that movie. I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm not saying it because I'll watch it. I was just talking about voters that might have exposure to it.
Oh yeah.
I'll go with Flow or Wild Robot. I don't know. I think I'll go with Flow.
Okay. Well, I share the love for Flow. I think all three of us that saw it absolutely loved it. It was just such a surprise, and I would love to pick Flow, but I think the Wild Robot's just got so much momentum, and so I'm going to pick the Wild Robot, even though that will be one of the ones I will be most cheering if Flow does win on Oscar night. So, but I'm not brave enough to pick it. So we've got a split vote, 2-2.
Flow's up for best international feature film too.
It is.
Right? I would vote for Wild Robot in another category, but I'm not.
But doesn't that bode better for Flow? Just the fact that it's in that other category too.
Possibly.
Flea was up twice and it lost both times.
3 times.
Flea.
No. Oh yeah. Well,
it was up for 3, right?
Flea was up for documentary.
Documentary. That's right.
International. Yeah.
Yep. But the Wild Robot got a total of what? 4 nominations.
3.
What was it? They got sound, music,
sound,
animated.
Score.
Yeah.
It missed song. A lot of people thought it would get song, but
that's right. It missed for song.
All right, I'm changing to Wild Robot.
God, Jamey. All right. So we got 3 for Wild Robot, and Garney being brave with Flow. All right. So speaking of international feature film, let's see the nominees.
Tá todo mundo lá fora falando da gente. A Vera não sabe o que tá acontecendo.
Essa carta!
Tá mentindo pra gente! O que tá acontecendo?
O meu marido tá em perigo. Todo mundo tá em perigo, Eunice.
Har du været? Så jeg har fået et nyt liv.
Om forladelse.
Medio aquí, medio allá. Medio muerto, medio viva. Medio dentro, medio fuera. Todo, nada.
Schikowa pogoni. Widzę na widzę. Miałeś dużo. Myśmy go wszystko.
همیشه باید این بود که به زن و بچه‌ت گفتی کارت چیه. اگه میشه نگفت تا قبل.
All right, Mark, getting us started on international feature film.
Yeah, this is also one of the hardest ones of the night because how much will they punish Amelia Perez for Carla's tweets? I don't know. Right now, I'm sticking with Amelia Perez, but I'm Still Here could very likely upset.
Really? You're going with Amelia Perez?
For now, yeah, I'm sticking with Amelia Perez.
All right, Jamie, you seem to sense some doubt in Amelia Perez's chances.
Me too. I'm not confident right now.
No.
Are people liking I'm Still Here? Or just the lead performance?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it got
nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And the Brazil fans are going crazy for it.
This will be the first time a international film is nominated for Best Picture and does not win international.
Oh, this will be the first time.
Yeah, because there's two.
Because you got two in there.
But either one. Okay.
Yeah,
one of them has to lose. I'm going to go with I'm Still Here because I don't think that they're going to award the movie Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
By the way, okay, I saw Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
Well done.
And surprisingly, I enjoyed it. I thought once the plot kicked in, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool, it's fun. But it's not a serious movie. I mean, it has a plot, but it's not about anything. I think people are treating it like it's some kind of message movie. And I don't think it is. I think it's about the same thing like something like Face Off is about. Like, it's fine, but it's not this prestige movie. Is it? Like, are people reading it that way still?
I think it's definitely lost a lot of luster. I think it was definitely more at the beginning, and that's why it got 13 nominations. But I think both with Carla and I think just kind of in general, the film has lost a lot of steam. So, and again, it was lower on my list too. Like, I appreciated a lot of it.
I just feel like out of Cannes, people were embracing it like it was and I don't mean to use this as a dirty word, like it's being used a lot now, like it was some kind of woke message movie, and it's not that.
I think there's some virtue signaling involved with the sort of being blindly lauded because they think it's helping with representation, which is kind of a weird subject for this movie, especially now lately. But I mean, international feature, this is as good a time as any to talk about Amelia Perez. I think that for me, it's sort of like it's suffering from the Forrest Gump syndrome, where I saw Forrest Gump the day it came out, and I thought it was a great movie, and then it ended up winning Best Picture, and I thought, what? That's the Best Picture of the year? I saw Amelia Perez in New York before it went on Netflix and before the 13 nominations, and I expected it to get nominated, but I was not expecting 13 nominations, and
crazy.
It's one of those things where it's like I would have been, if it weren't for this overwhelming praise, I wouldn't have anything negative to say about it because I wouldn't think about it that much.
See, but what's weird to me is that I don't necessarily have anything bad to say about Amelia Perez. I just think it's being praised for the wrong thing. Like, people are praising an entirely different movie.
I agree with you. I think that's part of the blindly lauded for the virtue signaling aspect of it. Because it's an interesting movie and it's really well made, but it's not a great musical, not even a very good musical. But it's interesting to watch if you can just keep an open mind.
Yeah.
And I think people are going in expecting it to be something that it's not.
Like it's virtuous or something. And like the dude's like a drug lord.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It takes too long for the drug lord to establish that. For too long, you wonder, is this just a great escape? Is he getting away with everything, and this was always his plan? I'm going to get a sex change, and they won't look for me anymore. Or is this
was
how
it truly a calling?
Really feels?
Yeah.
Is Amelia Perez an escape, or is it a rescue? Right?
Yeah.
And I think it does prove its point that this Amelia Perez is who she is who she feels that she is, and not just an opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Enough of a weird line there.
It just it just feels kind of, it's a plot device that feels insincere.
Right.
Like if Tony Montana really wanted to work at an orphanage or something, it's like that was in his soul the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great comparison.
That's actually pretty good.
I mean, Emilia Perez being compared to Scarface is very apt.
Okay, so you're going with I'm Still Here, Jamie, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is
that
tough.
That Sacred Fig thing, that has a pretentious title, so I wouldn't toss that aside as a possibility.
Well, I love more the story. I mean, I haven't seen the film yet, but I just love the story of this guy, like, having to... didn't he walk, or he had to basically hike with the film out to get out of Iran, or...
Yeah, he fled on foot.
Yeah, he fled on foot, and I think the story of that is just extraordinary.
Well, he fled on foot in the film. It's a really interesting, fascinating story. The story behind the movie is more interesting than the movie, which is good. Mm-hmm. It just becomes a slog at the end.
Okay. Yeah, that one I have not seen. But yeah, this is telling of, I mean, usually international feature films are one of the easiest to predict in past years, because usually we have a Best Picture nominee in there or something like that, but now we have two, and you're right, I don't know what the Emilia Perez kind of backlash might be, but it did get 13 nominations, and so I still think it's going to win at least here, and maybe one other category, but I can definitely see I'm Still Here, because that one has been nothing but rising and recently, but I'll pick Emilia Perez.
I think it's just going to win one. Maybe, is it up for song?
Yeah. 2 nominations for song.
The Zoe Saldana song. I think it'll win those 2.
Okay.
But it won't
Don't
win
blow your
film.
load already, Jamie. We're not there yet.
We'll get there.
Okay, Garney.
I see.
Yes.
Hello, nice to meet you.
No, it's the song. Is the song the one where Zoe Saldana sings in the?
El Mal. Yeah.
El Mal.
Yeah. Okay.
I liked the girl with the needle the most out of these 5, except for Flo. I mean, I think since Flo is I would spread it out where if I'll give Flo animated, and I would vote for Girl with the Needle here, even though if I'm ranking them, Flo is the best film on this list. But I think it's going to be I'm Still Here. And I don't think it's going to be so much because Emilia Perez is being punished, but I think there's enough people that, since it got the Best Picture nomination, it has the fans where they had enough people that put it that high in their ranking where they're going to vote for it here over Emilia Perez. Where I think Emilia Perez got in because enough people put it in their ranking. And I'm Still Here was ranked very highly in the rankings, in their preferential. So I just think that the tide goes towards I'm Still Here with everything that's happening.
Nice. Another split decision, 2-2. All right. Let's get to one of the acting categories. Thank God for the supporting categories this year.
Right? Something easy here.
Something easy, finally. All right, so let's look at the nominees for Best Supporting Actress.
You pick something appropriate.
Appropriate?
Just fuck off and sing.
Away from my window, leave at your own chosen speed.
And it is my intention to major in sorcery. So if at some point you wanted to address the problem, perhaps I could help.
She's so good. She's so good.
We love you.
And your English is impressive.
Thank you. I attended university in England,
Oh, where?
Oxford, to study English.
Well, perhaps you can help your husband sound less like he shines shoes for a wage.
Haven't you told them anything about me?
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears. I know what prompted the dean of the college to enter the Holy Father's rooms. He was concerned that the sister from my order that made that regrettable scene might have been brought to Rome with the deliberate intention of embarrassing a member of this conclave.
Cuando hablamos de violencia, abramos el corazón. Amemos a las mujeres, pelearemos a los hombres, abracemos la miseria. La miseria.
All right, Jamie, what do you think here?
It's going to be Zoe Saldana. I think this is one of the gimmies of the night. And by the way, irregardless if some people think it's blasphemy, why the hell was Isabella Rossellini nominated in this category?
She was great in Conclave.
She is Isabella Rossellini, but it's a nothing part, really.
Oh, it's literally a supporting part.
Oh, yeah. It's like the perfect, definition of supporting performance. I mean, she's so key in that film.
When I went back and rewatched it, I appreciated more what she did before she even had that scene. She adds a lot of gravitas, and I still don't think it's enough for the people that did not get nominated. I think it's enough to be in the conversation, but to get the nomination,
I agree. Zoe's been winning everywhere. I don't see anybody else winning in this category. I mean, Felicity Jones is great, and I mean, she makes that whole second half of that movie. And I love that Monica Barbro's in here for Complete Unknown because I love that movie.
Yeah.
And
that's terrific.
But she was great. But yeah, I think
Zoe
even
Saldana's
if Amelia Perez wins,
she's put her time in, in the industry.
Sure.
She between indies and big studios, and she's got the most impressive musical number in the piece. And
she's great. I loved her in that film.
Yeah,
she's great in it. I think she's best part about it, actually.
Deserving one, yeah.
All right, Garney, what do you think? Agreeing with that?
Yeah. And the other thing is, like usual, the lead performance that is being nominated for supporting is going to win. And that's true for both categories this year. Both the people that are going to win are arguably lead performances that are,
agreed.
Being put in the supporting category. It was Zoe all along. I was kind of hoping that Ariana Grande would win at SAG.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that feels like a musical theater clique.
Yeah.
Where I thought maybe that she'd win there, just to make throw a little chaos into the mix. But no, it's going to be Zoe, and she's great.
Garney, we don't need any more chaos added to this race.
Was actually Natasha Lyonne in His Three Daughters.
Yeah, she's great.
And I thought that would be remembered longer than it was, but whatever.
Okay. And Mark, you going with Zoe?
Did I not go first? I didn't. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No. Zoe Saldana. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
I thought I kicked that one off for some reason.
You didn't.
It's a sweep from us
Mark,
and from
your memory is going.
I know it's so bad.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
We're getting old, man.
Yeah.
All right. So at least agreement on supporting actress. So let's get into the production ones, all the categories that are all about the production of the film. Let's look at the nominees for production design.
The things that inspired me were more things I had to incorporate into the building, like the architecture of concentration camps and the church aspects of it, and sort of the back and forth between Laszlo's history and the functions it's serving in Protestant America was something I worked on a lot and thought about a lot.
The whole film, I feel, from a design point of view, is about balance of everything, light and dark, male and female, traditional and contemporary. Very early on, we saw a place called Palazzo Barberini, which had this gorgeous painted ceiling. Edward and I both thought this somehow has to get into our fictional Vatican. Their expertise is huge with the painting and construction. Their attention to detail has been wonderful.
In the text, the words in the book, they're not very descriptive, they're very broad, but it's a feeling. And obviously I went back to the book and I tried to decipher what the little cues that Frank Herbert would have left that would describe the world in details.
These locations spanned across the globe. The stark, unforgiving terrain of Arrakis was built primarily in the desolate beauty of Jordan's Wadi Rum. and the sprawling dunes of Abu Dhabi.
I'm blown away by the accuracy of the recreation of all these historical things that make the world so authentic, and even down to the fine details like Orlok's crypt.
Orlok's coffin is quite spectacular. It's based on lots of research of mainly Polish coffins. The real ones like have skulls on the side of them, and like how sick is that?
I remember just thinking, wow, they're not building sets, they're building a world.
We gotta build Emerald City. We gotta build Munchkin Land.
To see all that detail, all of it adds to the things that you can imagine.
A lot of it is real, physical, tangible sets.
We gotta grow 9 million tulips. The good news is the train, which takes 2 days to move because it's 16 tons, is here now.
Come with me. What? To meet the wizard. I couldn't possibly. This is your moment. I'm coming.
All right, I'll get us started here. Again, another tough category. These were all impressive works of production design. I mean, these are all, as much as I dislike Nosferatu, it was great work in production design. Brutalist, of course, is all kind of about design. But I got to go with Wicked. I just think Wicked's going to win something. And the fact that they, the impressive thing about that is that very little CGI. Those sets were actually built, and that you feel it when you watch that film. So I got to go Wicked. Garney, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is Wicked. I think that, Brutalist has a chance to upset because it's about design and all the miniatures that they made for that, but I think this is Wicked.
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, the only thing I disagree with is that I think this is one of the easier races to call, honestly, on the night. It swept. It took art directors, set directors, BAFTA, Critics' Choice. So, it's a...
Did somebody ask him for a stat just now?
Welcome back, man.
Did I freeze it?
Welcome back, Mark.
Okay, so you chose Dune Part 2. Okay, next.
Right, give it.
Yes. Yeah, we could have sworn we heard Dune Part 2 when you froze there.
Yeah. I'll keep it brief. Wicked.
Wicked. Okay. And Jamey?
Yeah, Wicked. Yep.
Okay. All right, so pretty easy agreement on production design. Now let's look at the nominees for costume design.
He was really influenced by Woody Guthrie's sensibility and the way he dressed. He dressed like a working man, like plaid shirts and Pendletons and like a carpenter-style jean. You see Bob Dylan's silhouette change from the early 60s, where he's wearing kind of baggy, shapeless clothes, to the end of our story in the mid-60s, where he's really becoming the Bob Dylan we know today, the icon.
You're Judas!
I don't believe you.
A deeper red, so the red what the Cardinals wear in real life is way more orangey. And we wanted to have it, deeper and more embracing. And the fabric, a heavier fabric and woolier.
Attention to detail is everything, from the research down to the making, and then showing Ridley. It's a huge collaboration. I had the most wonderful crew: cutters, leather workers, metal workers, jewelers, embroiderers. Everything's made from scratch.
Our friendship is a precious balm to my heart.
We had the opportunity to show the fragility of Ellen in the various nightgowns that she wears. They are slightly less affluent, very simple, very vulnerable. It creates for Ellen and for Lily Rose, who is portraying Ellen, a kind of beautiful state of mind.
For Glinda, it's much more about curves and softness and femininity. They're kind of rainbow tones. Thinking about the world of Elphaba, I was looking at a lot of the textures of mushrooms and fungus in nature and the different kinds of patterns.
Paul created this beautiful pleated dress that felt like velvet with an underlayer of purple and lace.
All right, Garney.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark will talk about production costume going together, and this is the year where that's going to happen. Wicked.
Mark?
Yeah, just like Wicked for production design, Wicked swept for costumes, and the guy who's going to win, Paul Tazewell, is from my hometown of Akron, Ohio. So we're rooting for Paul. Yeah.
Mark, I love the personal connections you add to this, man.
Well, that really puts him over.
Right?
Yes.
He's Akron, Ohio.
He's Akron, Ohio. He's got to.
We have to win something every once in a while. Okay. It's our century.
It's our century. Jamie, what do you think?
To win one.
Yeah, I'm going with Wicked too, as well.
Wicked Part 1, you mean?
Yes, Wicked Part 1.
Yeah, when is that next one out? Is that out this year or this year? Oh.
Yep. Where I know you'll be excited to see it, Jamie. And I gotta agree.
Wicked for good.
Wicked for good.
With a colon in the middle.
Yes, there will be a big colon next year there, Jamie.
Yeah.
Winner.
There will if I have to sit through that.
But yes, I agree. I think these are pretty two easy ones for Wicked. So
if I have to sit 3.5 hours through that, there's going to be a big colon in there.
All right, let's go to the category of makeup and hairstyling.
I think we worked on that a lot. I mean, I think I was informed a lot by the time that I had in the prosthetics and the time that I could, any minute I had in them was very informative. I remember the first time sort of that we tried them on and then I just would kind of see what impulses I was getting from it and sort of one led to the next and
L'évolution est tellement brutale. Era como 1 hora y media, 2 horas como mucho de maquillaje, pero era impresionante.
Soit le maquillage, les tatouages, la barbe, les prothèses.
El cambio, yo llegaba a maquillaje y salía de otra manera.
Robert had a very particular vision for Warlock.
Nothing compares to this version of the character. It's genuinely scary.
It's a different look than we've seen of any vampire character. You feel the dark forces coursing through his body.
From the start, when I started to write the film, I knew that I needed and wanted to have all the effects being practical and made for real, because the movie is really about flesh and bones. It's a movie about women's bodies. And to me, to build what I want to build, the way I want to film it, I have to be able to do it for real.
All right, Mark, getting us started here.
I think this one's pretty easy too. I'm going to take The Substance, and I know there's a actress connection to makeup as well, so that may leak into the other category.
Nice. Yeah. Jamie.
Yeah, The Substance is a good pick. I will say, I was so looking forward to Nosferatu, and I watched it the other night, and the thing that I found the most ridiculous was the look of Nosferatu.
Agreed.
He looks like a decomposed Jim Carrey in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought of.
It's supposed to be, and I'm sure you guys probably know this, but it's true to detail of what Vlad the Impaler looked like, and he had a mustache. And Robert Edgers.
What, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Right? Yes. Robert Eggers.
Show some respect.
Yes.
Right? Robert Eggers is a attention to detail, like he is huge with historic actors.
He should have paid less attention in this movie.
I know. It does throw you off.
Yes.
Accurate or not, it's a.
I like him. I think he's a great talent. He might be one of the only. But so far in his career, I think he's enormously talented, and I haven't liked any of his movies.
The Witch? You didn't like The Witch?
Yeah. I mean, I admire the feeling of The Witch, but it's not a movie that I'd ever return to.
Okay.
I mean, he's got style to burn, but I haven't liked any of his movies.
Yeah, I agree with this one too. I think The Substance incredibly deserves it. So yeah, I got to go with that one. Garney?
Yeah, and I just want to say, Mark, don't take The Substance. And if you're going to, remember, you are one. 7 days.
Yes.
Do we all like The Substance?
Love The Substance.
Do we like the
Mark didn't like
substance
it, I don't
all the
think.
way through?
Yes.
I like 2/3 of the substance. And
That's
then
what
I
most. So many people
I like
say.
2/3 of
you
it too.
The Substance is one of the 40 best movies I saw last year.
But even less
It
than
was my number
2/3,
2 of the year.
even less than 2/3, I felt like, yeah, I got it. You're just repeating the same point. Like, I got it.
Yeah, but it was that's where it had to go. I mean, that it made total sense that's where it would go. It went to that extreme.
It made turtle sense? Or was it that slow?
No.
I didn't get a weigh in on Eggers.
Total
I
sense,
think his
damn
best
it.
is The Northman.
You think his best is what?
Back to
The
Eggers.
Northman.
Okay.
I didn't get a weigh in on Eggers.
We're having different conversations amongst each other here. So.
Is your video feed lagging there, Garney? Or are you still in the last category?
He's still in the last category, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a 4-way
It's
agreement.
cool. It's cool that the substance is like a horror makeup monster thing, and it's gotten attention critically. That's
absolutely
cool. Yeah, it's good.
With that.
All right, let's look at the category of cinematography. Here are the nominees.
You don't get the same sort of distortion when you shoot with wide-angle lenses, things like that. So that kind of, I think, led Brady to the idea of, well, VistaVision, really, which is a large format version, still 35mm stock, but you're shooting like a stills camera as opposed to pulling the film down vertically in a motion picture camera. It's actually pulling it horizontally across 8 perforations at a time. So you end up with a bigger format. You're not forced to shoot on wider angle lenses for a wider field of view. You know, you can get the same field of view on a longer lens, which is obviously minimizes distortion.
For part 2, the worm ride is effectively Paul's perspective. We also have the perspective of Chani, who's acting as the perspective of the Fremen who are watching. But the camera and the lighting choices and the movement choices are all based directly on how those characters are feeling and behaving at that particular point in time.
Whatever the situation is, like for example, 3 people talking at a table, he will shoot it handheld because it's too stiff. Maybe if someone running, then we can shoot it on a tripod. The few fixed shots we did, actually there is something done in post, maybe just to keep kind of small zoom in or zoom out. It's a constant motion.
The film takes place in Paris the last days of her life, the last weeks, but we shot in Budapest for Paris, and all the exteriors we shot primarily in Paris, and then there's a part that's shot on Onassis' boat or yacht, Christina, that was shot in Greece. So we shot in 3 locations, but with 3 or 4 different formats to partake in her world.
The midnight hour has paused.
This sequence, there's never really any sure footing. We're playing with a lot of confusion, you know, and we'll set up something pretty ordinary, a medium shot, but we're going to still pull the carpet from under you, and it's all carefully thought out, you know, sort of set up expectations and then throw you off. Being disoriented and having the camera lead you and you're never really sure what you're going to look at next was kind of an important aspect of this film.
All right, Jamie, who is going to win cinematography?
Oh, all right, let me look at this. The Brutalist Dune Part 2, Maria. That's just there because Ed Lockman, right?
Hey, he just won the Cinematographer Guild.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Oh, God. I really don't know. I mean, the fact I'm between The Brutalist. I'm not counting out Dune Part 2 because was the first one already? Did it win?
Yeah.
Fraser won for the first one? Okay. Well, that's not going to happen again. And then what you say about Marie and then Nosferatu, the look of it is, but I'm going to go Brutalist actually because on their low budget to make such an epic film that feels such is quite an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Brutalist.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a tougher category, but I still think The Brutalist, just the mere fact that also like a $10 million budget, like you said, but they shot on VistaVision too, which was gorgeous.
Yeah, right.
And it not used that much anymore. So I think this is one that The Brutalist will definitely win. Garney, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't understand. Jason, you say this is one of the tough ones. You say Brutus will definitely win. Which is it?
Right?
Right, the second time. The Brutus will definitely win. It's
Well, the
not
fact that,
tough.
like, Ed Lachman won the Guild, I mean, we tend to try to go with the Guilds, but, you know, it's just a tough year. I feel like every category is tough.
You know who didn't vote for the Guild Award? All of the actors.
Well, this is true.
that didn't watch
This is true.
Maria.
This is very true.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be Brutalist. And I think the only thing that could upset it is Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will.
I don't think so
the
either.
Brutalist. And it's deserved.
Mm-hmm. And Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with everything Garney said, but I do think it is not a sure thing. I don't think it's.
Well, thank you, Mark. Now I feel redeemed.
I think Nosferatu could win. I think also Ed Lachman, if enough people are aware of his career and the fact that they're saying this could be his last film, and not to mention, it's Mark Johnson's favorite shot film of the year. So if they know about that, it could switch.
Well, I mean, and you're from Ohio,
and I'm from Akron, Ohio. I'm not a huge fan of Maria, but I do think it's the best shot. That and Conclave are my two.
Yeah, but Ed Lachman, did he win for Carol, or did he shoot Carol?
No. He should have won for Far From Heaven, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And El
he was
Conde
nominated for the, what was that vampire one he did?
El Conde last year.
Yeah, last year. Yep.
So he hasn't won. Is he like a Randy Newman kind of guy at this point? Or?
He's pretty overdue.
Yeah, but on the ballot it just says the title. You don't get the name.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's
why Diane Warren is not one.
Is she nominated again this year?
She is.
Eight years in a row.
I really want to talk about original songs.
I know. We did this last year. We were so excited to get to original songs.
Did she write a song about some kind of donut or something? Or
just hang on, Jamie. We're getting there. I know the excitement is. So, Mark, are you predicting? Which one are you predicting?
The Brutalist.
The Brutalist.
Oh, the Brutalist.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't hear him say it, so it's like.
Yeah, sorry. Brutalist.
He opened with, I agree with everything Garney said, and that was enough.
Come on.
But he had a but in there, though.
There was a but, yes.
There was a but.
All right. So before we get to the post-production categories, let's do another acting category. Maybe the easiest one to predict, Best Supporting Actor.
No, I mean, I just feel like, sorry. Okay. Is anyone else, like, feeling this right now?
Feeling what?
Like this creepy feeling that, like, you know, we're, like, royalty on this train? I mean, does no one else see the irony here?
Jesus,
like, eating fancy food and sitting up here when 80 years ago we would have been herded into the backs of these fucking things like cattle.
The hour that the ship comes in, and the seas will split, and the ship will hit, and the sands on the shoreline will be shaking, and the tide will sound, and the wind will pound, and the morning will be breaking.
It is no coincidence that fate brought us together on the eve of my mother's death. I'm good at reading the signs.
Sir, I do not know what the commission entails.
We'll talk about the details at home, but you'll be well compensated. And also, you'll be given a place here on the property to live and work. I think that residing here will allow you the time and the space to conceive of it properly.
What do you want, Roy?
Why don't you do the right thing and make this case go away?
You know I can't do that.
Imagine your wife reading in the Post that her husband is a fairy. Is that what you want? Say hello to Myra and the kids.
All right, so yeah, this one has got to be Kieran Culkin. I mean, has he not won an award this year? I don't know if did anyone else win, Mark?
Of the major awards, no, he swept. But
yeah,
Clarence Macklin took Gotham.
I will say he did lose.
Back to Gotham.
He did lose the Dallas Fort Worth critics group.
Ah,
so
okay. Who did they go with?
There's that. They went with Guy Pearce.
Oh,
Guy Pearce, yeah. Guy Pearce,
But
I
yeah.
think, had the most, outside of Culkin, the most critics group.
Yeah, I
prizes.
like Guy Pearce.
He was good. He was good in The Brutalist, yes.
Yeah, he's great.
So yeah, Kieran Culkin, he'd be my personal pick.
I
in
like
the category,
I like
too.
Jeremy Strong, but that's the I thought Jeremy Strong was great as Cohen.
Yeah, he's
but
great.
yeah, 2 Succession actors in this category this year.
Yeah.
Throughout this award season.
Yeah.
Well, Garney, what do you think? Pretty easy one.
Are you done, Jamie? No.
Yeah, Jamie likes to just jump in wherever.
It's going to be Kieran Culkin. I would vote for Guy Pearce. I think Kieran Culkin does a great job, but I do think this is going back to screenplay because I like to talk about categories that I talked about. The role was written. Yeah. The role was written to win an award. I can think of like 10 different actors who could have played this part and won this award. Not to take away from what Kieran does. He does a great job. But I can't think of as many actors that could nail. Maybe I should use a different word for Guy Pearce. Who could really just okay.
Oh my god. What's funny is Jamie doesn't get that joke, so but he would appreciate it if he had seen The Brutalist.
Right.
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, Culkin. Sweep.
Does it have anything to do with Red Shoe Diaries? Or?
A little.
So we're all going for Kieran Culkin. That's it's the 2 supporting categories, and that's not an unusual thing or real sure things this year. I think.
But what's interesting, like this is the year too that I could see an upset in one of these 2 categories.
Yeah, but because all of these people are great, though. I mean, they all belong on there.
I'd love to see Edward Norton win. I thought he was great.
It's not wasted.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think this is a pretty easy one to predict. So, all right, let's go to the post-production categories. Let's look at the nominees for visual effects.
At the one end of the scale, you've got a photorealistic chimpanzee, and at the other end of the scale, you've got Robbie Williams. And where along that scale do we want to land?
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can!
Sand screens are VFX screens with a carefully chosen sand color to bounce light realistically. Because the sand color was not as distinct as the usual blue or green, the team formulated a sand color hue that, once inverted, effectively separated subjects from the background, similar to traditional screens. This solution allowed the visual effects team to integrate the live-action footage with digital elements in a way that preserved the integrity of the scene.
The animation process needed to be very efficient, and to help facilitate that, we brought in a machine learning aspect to the facial animation pipeline, so we could take the footage that was recorded from the facial cameras of the actors and essentially feed that to a deep learning facial solver, or the facial deep learning solver as we're calling it, which would then give our animators the kind of starting point for each of the facial performances of the apes.
It's a really strange sensation because I have to shift the way I breathe in order to sing.
Someone told me lately, everyone deserves a chance to fly.
Has it ever happened in a movie before? Live singing while you go around like that?
Yay! That was really fun.
All right, Garney, my favorite visual effect. Go ahead, sir.
Dune Part 2.
Look at you. All right, same. Mark, same?
Yep.
Jamie.
2 ape movies.
Yes.
Huh.
And does Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes finally win a Planet of the Apes?
Oh, I'm sorry,
visual effects?
Garney. Were you finished? I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, Garney was finished. Yeah,
you were introduced.
Yes, Jamie. What do you think?
Dune Part 2. It's got to be Dune Part 2. Man, they need to stop making alien movies. Good lord.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The movie was absolutely just a retread. Outside of the blood floating in midair, the alien blood, that was the only unique thing in that movie.
It's true. But yeah, I think Dune Part 2 definitely wins this one. So, all right, quick, easy agreement there. Let's look at the category of Best Sound.
It's just different
We're set up to record all of the performances for real. All of the microphones are real period microphones. All the instruments are real period instruments.
We have done this movie 100% live. There's no earpiece, there's no timing mechanism or anything.
Crowds then take over quite quickly, and we do a quick handoff to big Harkonnens chanting and Harkonnen the PA. All of that is to be much more guttural, visceral attitude of this crowd, just bloodthirsty, wanting to see people die.
Un peu l'écueil des comédies musicales, c'est de toujours sentir cette césure quand la chanson arrive et que tout d'un coup le récit s'arrête et la chanson commence. Donc ça, c'était quelque chose que Jacques voulait pas du tout.
Les sons deviennent eux-mêmes un élément rythmique qui s'intègre à la musique. On voulait vraiment que par moment, on ne sache plus où est la frontière entre le son et la musique et que ça contribue à tisser cette fluidité non seulement dans le temps, mais dans l'imbrication des éléments sonores à chaque instant.
So what we've managed to do is immerse the audience because effectively our movie set is also a recording studio. So that raw and real emotion that we are recording on set right now will be what you hear and experience in the theater.
He could be that boy.
So then my job became trying to figure out how to make her, both her voice and her movement sounds as kind of subtle and in a way as human as possible. Luckily, I didn't have to do much with her voice because Lupita did all of that.
All right, Mark, what do you think of this category?
I think I'm going to stick with Dune Part 2. I think this is a tough one, and we have 3 musicals well, I shouldn't say musicals, but we have A Complete Unknown, which lots of music, Amelia Perez and Wicked. So I'm not sure if they'll like focus on one enough to get it to one of those 3. So Dune's big and loud.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, what do you think?
Same. Dune Part 2.
Yeah, this one to me is one of the tougher categories. Because music biopics do tend to win sometimes, and you've got both Complete Unknown and Wicked actually recording the music on set. I could see Dune Part 2 because it is the noisiest, but I'm going with Complete Unknown. I don't see that movie going away empty-handed, because there was a lot of love for that film, and I'm sticking with like how Ray won this category, so I'm gonna go Complete Unknown. Garney, what do you think?
Were there other musicals nominated against Ray?
That year, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's going to be Dune Part 2.
Damn
but
it, Garney.
If the musicals don't drown each other out, instead of cancel each other out, I think you're right, it would be Complete Unknown.
Okay. So I'm the outlier on that one, which either means I'll be brilliant or, All right. Let's look at the category.
How does it feel?
Yeah, thank you.
How does it feel?
How does it feel?
To be on your own, predicting a complete unknown.
It feels pretty scary, I will tell you that. But that's what we do. It's that kind of year. All right, let's look at the nominees for Best Film Editing.
Ja очень рада наконец с вами познакомиться. Это такая часть женой Ивана и частью вашей семьи.
Love from me, could I be fooled to believe you, dear, and a fool I am.
I must see her myself.
I hardly think a drop tray should concern the Dean of the College of Cardinals.
Even so,
The welfare of the sister is my responsibility.
And this conclave is mine.
¿Qué quiere que haga?
Quiero ser una mujer.
What is this feeling so sudden and new?
I felt the moment I laid eyes on you.
Jamie, what do you think here?
This is a tough category, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it just me? Okay.
Nope, I agree.
Somewhat.
All right.
Somewhat, yeah.
Well, because they all have their minuses. What I already said about Anora, about that sequence that goes on too long. The Brutalist, I mean, 3 hours and 40 minutes. I don't know.
3 hours and 15 minutes.
Don't you say
3:40.
anything negative about-
No, I thought it
don't
was
you say anything
3:15, wasn't
negative
it?
about-
No, it's
like
it?
3:15.
Yeah.
Don't say anything negative
Jamie,
about
we actually
Conclave's
saw it.
perfect editing.
Don't
Yeah,
say
don't.
anything negative about is he from
About
Ohio? or-
Conclave's, no, it's just
No, don't insult
perfectly
Conclave's
edited.
editing.
Stop it.
Oh.
Yeah, Mark has a special
Yeah.
thing for Conclave. All right, so what are you picking, Jamie?
Mark, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, do you think this year editing and picture could be the same?
I do.
As it is in many
A
previous
lot of
years?
times it has been, yeah.
It hasn't been recently, but then the last 2 years it was. So there was like the last 2 years did it. Oppenheimer and every.
So it hasn't
everything
been
everywhere.
recently.
So recently, yeah.
Yes.
But before those 2 years, there was like a pretty good stretch, whereas it used to be pretty consistent, and then it kind of stopped being. So are we back to that? I don't know.
It's hard to say. But that was always the one that you they always say, watch who wins film editing early in the night. And
Right.
that would be
Right,
your
that's a
best
good
picture
clue.
usually, but
Right.
Yeah, God.
come on, Jamie.
I'm between Brutalist and Conclave, honestly. And I don't know which way to go. I'll go Conclave.
Okay.
Little tighter.
Jamie goes with Conclave. I, on the other hand, think Anora is one of the better edited films of the year. And I'm picking Anora. I think it... But again, I agree, this is a tough category. But yeah, I got to go with Anora. Garney?
I was going Anora until Conclave won the SAG Ensemble Award.
SAG Ensemble convinced you of the editing award?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
No, it really did.
Is there any connection there, Mark, with the SAG Ensemble and the editing prize in history?
I think
Because the percentage of voting body that are actors.
Yeah. Okay.
Where normally those, for them to have picked that, they obviously, a lot of people, because they aligned the SAG Ensemble with what they're going to vote for Best Picture, and they've aligned Best Picture with what gets Best Editing.
But do
so
you
it all comes
do
full
you
circle.
really do you think before this controversy, I think Emilia Perez would have won that ensemble?
I think
With-
it definitely had better chances.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
it was.
I think it could have.
Closer to be a 5-way race.
Yeah, possibly.
But now it's definitely. I think it's a Conclave versus Anora. I think Brutalist, even with the length though, when you get around to seeing it, there is no fat in that movie.
Agreed.
That movie feels faster than Anora.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
It doesn't feel faster than Conclave, though. Conclave is really well edited, and I think it deserves to win, and I think it will win.
So, Mark, I have a feeling you're picking Conclave.
Yeah, I'm going Conclave. I did look, and it was so before these last 2 years with Oppenheimer and everything everywhere, it was 9 years in a row where the editing winner was not the Best Picture winner. So there was a pretty good stretch there where that stat or that signal
Yeah.
early in the night kind of went away.
Because I remember that has bit us in the past because we've tried to make that connection.
Right, like with Birdman, we thought it has to win editing because it's the one take and whatnot. But yeah, Argo was the one. Argo was the last one that won editing, and then we had 9 in a row that were non-Best Picture winners.
So do you know Nick Emerson? Did you sit beside him somewhere?
No, I did sit right behind Edward Berger at the Critics' Choice Awards, and actually Robert Eggers were at the two right in front of me. And Volker, I talked to Volker Bertelmann a lot. Anyway, don't get me started. I talked to Rafe. I talked to everybody at Conclave. They were right next to me, so I was
Eggers and
all over
Berger
them.
kind of look similar, right?
He, like me, you mean?
Berger
I get the Rob. Who? Berger and who?
And Eggers looking
Eggers and Berger look similar.
What's interesting is I get.
Did
I get
Eggers smell
a
weird?
lot.
He seems like just from watching
No,
his
but
movies.
He could definitely give two shits about award season.
Yeah,
Really.
that's good.
He was like just there. But yeah, Eggers and Berger, I guess they look a little bit alike. I get told that's the one celebrity, if you will, that I get told I look like is Eggers, which I don't really see it, but it's weird that you said that. I was like, what? Yeah, yeah. Berger's the best though. He's I met him in Middleburg and then again at Christmas. He is the nicest. I'm gonna be rooting for that dude. Everything he does. He's just awesome. And
I'm sorry.
just-
I'm sorry. I spoke critically of him. I like him, but I said I liked
he's
him.
terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, you
think
like
he's
him.
very
You just-
gifted.
You think his films are shit?
Yeah.
No, I think he's very
Edgar.
talented.
No, you said Edgar's. I'm talking about Berger.
Oh, Berger is the one you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Eggers is nice. Edward Berger is the nicest human ever.
Oh, wow.
Just a genuine. I could talk to him all day.
I like burgers too.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm an outlier again on this category. Ugh, okay. All right,
What
let's
did you
get
go
to...
with? You went with what would you go?
Honora.
Did you go with?
No, I went with Honora.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to be brave.
Now,
Is that
didn't
kinda
Garney go with Nora too?
No.
Conclave.
I went Conclave.
I said I was with the Nora until it didn't win anything at the SAG.
It was that SAG award that... Yes. Okay. All right, let's get to the music categories. We're finally getting to original song. We've been waiting for it. But let's get to the nominees for original score first. All right, original score. You know, to me, this was not a memorable year for film scores. I did love Volker Brutalman's score for Conclave. But Amelia Perez's score,
Isn't it
can you
just
remember
one
the
thing?
damn thing? I don't remember the Amelia Perez score. I remember the songs, but Wicked score was good. I did like the Wicked score, and I could see them maybe giving it to that just because of all the songs in it. Maybe they get some connection there. Wild Robot I didn't think was all that great of a score. So I'm going with The Brutalist. I think it is one of the more memorable scores, but even that one was not that great to me. But if I think one's going to win, I think it'll be The Brutalist. Garney, what do you think?
You're right, it's going to be Brutalist. You're wrong about the Wild Robot.
Yeah,
this
God,
is where
sure.
Wild Robot should be winning. That was a great score. I get it that you didn't get a theme out of it that you want, but the way that the music scored what you were watching, it elevated it. It reminded me of like what Thomas Newman did with 1917. That wasn't great music, but it was a great score.
Yeah,
so
I
maybe
agree with
Wild
that.
Robot wasn't your favorite music, but as far as scoring the action and what was going on,
Yeah.
and you can hear his influence from John Williams with Thomas Newman, like what Thomas Newman did in American Beauty. I really heard that coming through. And Chris Bowers, he's turning into one of my favorite composers working today.
Nice.
But yeah, it's going to be Brutalist. I think if anyone just watches the beginning of that movie, they're going to vote for Brutalist. The music playing while they're on the boat, and it shows the Statue of Liberty. That's one of the most memorable moments of matching the music to what you're watching.
Agreed. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. It's hard to root against Volker or even Bowers here, but the Brutalist score, I think it was the special one, and will win.
All right, and Jamie.
Brutalist.
Have you heard the score for The Brutalist at least, Jamie?
I did listen to the score. The studio was very good about sending them out to a bunch of people.
Nice. Okay. All right.
And with that 3.6 hour runtime, it was also the most scored.
Hey, that's a good point, Garney. All right, let's get to the category of original song.
Habla, pero ahora lo van a pagar. Habla, esta gente habla, pero ahora lo van a pagar. It's the getting led to where you're going to. Going through hell, but still you're gonna make it through. I try. Fly like a bird, fly. Give you my word. Try. Fly like a bird, fly.
All right, Garney, what do you think here?
This is one of the worst years for original song.
It really is.
Don't we say that almost every year, though? This category is always the bane of our existence.
They left off the table, you know?
Like, I hate that they didn't nominate Miley Cyrus's song from The Last Showgirl. That, to me, was the best song of the year.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Garney,
really
you never like my taste in music, Garney. You shit on my taste every year. You didn't like when I picked Lady Gaga's song for Top Gun Maverick.
I actually liked the song from Moana, too, and I thought that should have been nominated.
Yeah.
But I think that this is going to go to Sing Sing. Because I think...
Because it's essential to the story.
Yeah, and
it's a great
also
song.
It's the one chance for them to award Sing Sing, even though it didn't get nominated for as many awards as it should have. I think that they'll see this as the opportunity, and the music in Amelia Perez isn't that good. I just for a while I was thinking this could be where the Journey, where Diane Warren could finally win for the Journey. I thought it's a weak year, maybe she'll finally win. It's a good song. She's got her singing it, but that movie, 6888, is not good. I mean, Tyler
Isn't that
Perry
most of
is
the Diane
definitely
Warren song
quality
films?
over quality with his filmmaking.
6888 is no flaming hot. Let me tell you.
Flaming
So
hot.
I think that as an Academy voter, you probably have an issue marking a box next to 6888, but they won't have an issue marking a box next to Sing Sing, and that's what's going to be attracted to them. And I think Sing Sing wins this award.
Garney, that may be the best reasoning you've done all night. I like that. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think if Diane Warren was ever going to win one, this would be the year for it, because these songs do all stink, and the front runner is El Mal, which is what I'm predicting, and it is divisive because it's from Amelia Perez, which they may be turning against, and on top of it, it's not the only song from Amelia Perez. So, you know, if she's going to win one, this would be the year, and and honestly, I'm rooting for her just because...
Just so she'd stop being nominated?
Yeah, give it to her now before they give it to her for something over something that deserves it, right? So this would be a great year to get this out of the way.
But you still think El Mal, though?
But I think El Mal, yeah.
All right. Jamey?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think it's going El Mal.
Okay.
But I like Garney. I like Garney's reasoning.
I do too. I really like Garney's reasoning. He's almost convincing me. Yeah, I had El Mal, I just felt because I actually think that is the best number in the film. It's powerful, but I am sick to death of hearing it by now. Because it's the clip they always show.
It's
you
tied,
know, and
it's tied to Zoe.
So it's just, you know. So I am actually going to pick Diane Warren this year. Because the musician is her.
All right.
It's one of the better songs. It is actually one of her better songs that Diane Warren has written. So yeah, I mean, I agree that and again, they don't have Diane Warren's name on there, but she is a hell of a campaigner, and And I don't know. And this song, the thing that clinched it for me is, I believe, didn't they use this song at the SAG?
The Memoriam.
In Memoriam, yeah. When I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. Maybe that was just something that pushed it over the edge. So
too bad the ballots are already due.
I don't think thank you, Garney.
If the SAG had been like a week earlier,
she's playing.
Where people would have been like, "What song was that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that nominated for an Oscar?" Let me
exactly.
go for
It's actually a good song. I actually like the song.
It is a good song.
So that's the song. That's the song they played to let
fine.
people know the theme of that segment, which is "It's over."
Yes, but in a year where it's like there's just so many crazy predictions, I just think she might finally win this year. So maybe she gets enough of that campaigning out and convinces enough people. So all right, so we're all across the board there. All right, we're down to it, guys. The final 4. So here are the nominees for Best Director of the Year.
No, I wanted to keep it grounded. That was very important for me. I guess with this film, because I was sort of taking us on hopefully taking the audience on a roller coaster ride through different tones and genres, I knew that I had to bring them back to a place of grounded reality, to a sobering moment, to really sit there and to see, to feel the reality of the situation and what Annie is really living with.
The field of view with VistaVision, it's so immense that what it allows you to do is you get a bigger, more detailed picture, but without the distortion that would be required from using, a 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter lens. And so, that lack of distortion when you're shooting the human face is so incredibly powerful. And for me, that is just infinitely more interesting, actually, how it turns the human face into a landscape.
What attracted me to this movie from the beginning was this question of genius, how it taints and changes your relationships with everyone you love or hate or meet. I'm not really interested in cradle-to-grave stories. All this happens in the space of just the years between 61 and 65. This young man arriving into this big town with nothing in his pockets and a guitar on his back. That's what I loved about this period in Dylan's life and in folk history.
Instead of shooting outdoors in a natural landscape, I shot in a studio set. So I went to see all these kind of natural locations, and they were just too realistic. They didn't have that stylized look I wanted in the final film. And the studio set, the soundstage, allowed us to create that stylized operatic look, because a soundstage essentially can look like an opera stage.
There are no representations anymore of women over 50, in movies that disappear.
Find me somebody new!
In advertisements that disappear, on the TV networks to present the news that disappear. And it's like something that is silently telling your brain, that, okay, after that limit, you don't exist anymore. And I said, okay, I think now it's time for me to really do something with that. And I really wanted to make a big scream, a big kick, in the system the way it is. And the idea was to say, come on, wake up, we need a change.
All right, Mark.
I'm going with a write-in vote. I believe Edward
What?
Berger.
I knew it.
Yeah, I believe Edward Berger is going to win this. So
very nice.
No, I wish justice for Edward Berger.
He should have been nominated. Agreed.
Yeah, it's insane, and especially if Conclave is top 1 or 2 in this race, how the hell do you leave him out when that is a directed film?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet on DGA. It's hard to bet against DGA at this point. It's the most accurate precursor we have. So, while I think he might be 5th in order of how I would vote, because I think that's the least directed film.
Damn,
I'm
Mark,
gonna go
you
Sean
hurt me.
Baker. I know. Listen, that's not an insult. I just think it's mostly about the acting and I guess the writing. I don't think he's doing anything special to win an Oscar.
Yeah, but directing is... I mean, when you hear about how that movie was put together and how he called Mikey Madison and they sat and they discussed and they kind of crafted...
That's producer shit.
No, I mean
that's what you give it.
No. If they're building a character and he's directing it in a certain direction, directing is not just pointing the camera.
Right.
telling people where to walk.
Okay, fair.
Well, plus I love like an independent director like Sean Baker finally getting like his speech at the
He's
Independent
great.
Spirit Awards.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
great.
I hate that he read it, but his sentiment is exactly true. I think it was great what he said. So
Now, do you
He's-
think
he's
that? Do you
hard
think
to
that?
root against.
Do you think that Brady Corbet, the whole discussion about him being broke and not being paid anything, hurts or helps?
I don't think it
know
hurts.
that anybody cares.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares, but
right. It's a non-factor probably. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jamie, what do you think in this category?
Oh, I think it's between Sean Baker and the Brutalist guy.
Yeah.
The Brutalist, just like I said, because of the ambition and the conditions under which he was able to achieve a vision there. But Sean Baker is a special filmmaker. I mean, I love the Florida Project. That was my favorite movie the year it came out. And this one had this one is equally humanistic. He's a humanistic director.
Yes.
And I like him a lot. And I'm going to go with Sean. Well, shit. Because I know what I want.
I love seeing
for best
Jamie's process during the show. It's like the
I
rest
know
of us
what I
have all
want.
made our predictions before the show, but Jamie makes them during the show. Like this.
I know what I want to choose for best picture.
Yes.
And I don't know if they'll be different. I don't think they'll be different. But let me just say that they will be. Let me say that they will be different. I'll choose the Brutalist guy for director.
All right, Jamie.
It's a good pick.
I agree. I think it's between the two of them. Because, I mean, what he did with The Brutalist. I mean, we're looking at both these films on low budgets, and that was an epic film. But I can't vote against DGA. I mean, like Mark said, it's the most consistent. And Sean Baker's just been on the rise with the Nora, so I think it's Sean Baker, and I will be very happy. Garney, what do you think?
I want to agree with Mark with the write-in. Denis Villeneuve.
Right.
Why
another
did
one.
this guy not already
Right.
have Oscars and not even one single directing nomination?
Yeah,
That's
stupid.
ridiculous.
Wait, wasn't he nominated for Arrival?
No.
No, I don't
Oh,
think
he wasn't
He's
nominated
never
for
been
Arrival?
nominated for directing.
Amy Adams
The
missed
new
too.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan never got nominated until Dunkirk.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
stupid.
that's true. Yeah.
And so, it's going to be a Nora. It should be Corbet, but I understand that the directing awards is starting to feel like a career recognition. Not recognition, but career consideration. Where they're going to give it, they're giving it to Sean Baker because he's established himself. And so it's, while I don't think that it's a career award where they're giving it to him because of his career, but I think that Brady Corbet only having those two films before The Brutalist, they're going to let him prove himself some more rather than just give it to a flash in the pan.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, I get
Which
that.
I don't think Brady Corbet is a flash in the pan. I mean, Vox Lux was a fantastic film.
I liked Vox Lux, yes. I liked that a lot.
I haven't
liked
seen
it.
Childhood of a Leader, but I'll watch it based on how much I enjoyed those. I think what Brady Corbet did, and there's just so much work that he put into this film. And I think that Sean Baker put a lot of work into his film too, but
It's ambitious as hell.
yeah, it's going to be Sean Baker.
Yeah.
It might be Brady Corbet, and if I'm wrong,
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. It's that kind of year. All right, let's get to some very tough categories to predict. Here are the nominees for Best Actor in a Leading Role.
I'm sorry. Have I upset you?
Not at all. Did not realize these images were still available, much less of any consequence. May I keep these?
The answer is blowing in the wind.
So this is what?
I don't know.
So are you acting at all during this interview?
Absolutely not. I truly hope that you can understand that I've been very sincere. I know how meaningful this is. I would never. Actually, that's not the intention of acting. Acting is just a process.
Our faith is a living thing precisely because it walks hand in hand with doubt. If there was only certainty and no doubt, there would be no mystery, and therefore no need for faith.
Go find someone else. I'm not a trophy wife.
You're gonna ruin your life if you don't marry me. Why? 1 second, listen,
Why is that?
Because I'm rich, I'm handsome, I have a
my
great
God.
family, I'm gonna be in the number one building in New York. Listen to me. You're gonna have the life you can't even dream of, Ivana. With me. I love you. I love you. Okay?
All right, Jamie. You gonna be brave?
Okay. Am I going to be brave?
Yes.
It's between two people. It's a good thing that
I think it's between three.
I think it's good that Sebastian Stan. I think
Oh,
it's
go
good that will you let me finish?
Yes, I'm sorry. I get excited, Jamie.
I think it's great that Sebastian Stan got nominated because everybody was talking about how afraid they were to touch that performance, to go near it. But
a lot
I think
of people said
I do think it's
get,
between Brody and Chalamet.
Someone said to him before that there's no chance you're going to get any awards recognition for this. So he actually did. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that whole actor on actor thing that for Variety that everybody refused to sit with him, which is crazy because he's great in that movie. I'm going to go with Chalamet. I'm going to go with Chalamet over Brody. Because it's one of those it's a very immersive performance, and I'm excited about Timothée Chalamet. I think he came across as a bit of a fucking brat last night at the SAGs.
Yeah,
his acceptance
he does that
speech.
most of the time.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting speech, and I was curious how it would land with people. But most people I was seeing on Twitter liked it, so I think it's a very Gen Z speech.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very. You don't think everybody in that fucking room yearns for greatness or reaches for greatness?
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But I think he's going to win this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had Adrian Brody's been winning.
What actress is presenting this? Who won Best Actress last year?
No.
Are they doing the 5 people again?
I don't.
How do we forget?
I don't know. I don't think they are. But it.
Who won Best
Emma
Actress
Stone.
last
Emma
year?
Stone won last year.
Okay,
right.
so if Adrian Brody wins, he's going to rape Emma Stone. He's going to assault Emma Stone on stage. She's going to get Me Too'd.
Oh, God. Thank you for that, Jamie. Now, as I was saying,
the brutalist stuff
before I was interrupted with that very necessary. Yeah, Adrian Brody's been winning this whole time, and so this one is very, very hard, especially last night when Timothée Chalamet won, because ever since Jamie Lee Curtis won SAG, and I voted against her, I'm not going against SAG. So I think Timothée Chalamet will win this, even though I could really see Adrian Brody winning. But I think the love of him playing Dylan, and he's absolutely astounding. I mean, to take on a role like that, and he prepared for 5 years. So I know it's not the tendency in this category to award the young actor, but they did it with Adrian Brody. I think Chalamet's the same age as Brody was when he won for The Pianist.
The record
So
by 2 months, I think.
By 2 months,
Brody,
I think that
Brody,
was. Yeah.
Brody has
so
the
I'm going with
record right
Timothy
now for youngest. Yeah.
Yep. So Garney, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Chalamet, and I know that a lot of people are thinking, well, they're making people wait, before giving them an award. That's against Chalamet. How they didn't give it to Austin Butler for Elvis, but Elvis was a more divisive movie than A Complete Unknown. A Complete Unknown is more like Bohemian Rhapsody, which did win an Oscar for Rami Malek, and Bob Dylan is much more of a legend than Freddie Mercury. Yeah, Freddie Mercury is obviously a legend, but I mean Bob Dylan is like a Mount Rushmore musician, and so this is when you said before about, they're not going to send Complete Unknown home empty-handed, I was going to say, well, they're not, but I didn't want to spoil.
Oh, see, you kept some secrets there. Way to go, Garney.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be Timmy.
All right, and Mark.
Not so fast.
Yes.
I do have Brody still. I find it interesting if the SAG would have happened a week earlier before voting ended. I probably would agree and think, ooh, that momentum shift is real. But it's hard because of SAG having merged with AFTRA and not really knowing, how much is driven by that side of the house. I have a hard time betting against BAFTA. I think we saw this similar events have happened in the past couple of years with what was it, Anthony Hopkins when he won BAFTA and lost SAG to Chadwick, I think was one. So I don't know. It could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm going to stick with Brody.
And I will say though, I would love to see Ray Fiennes finally win an Oscar.
Yeah,
that I would be very happy if that would happen. Because I also love that it's such an understated performance. So it's not the showy performance that so many of these others are, but
for sure.
But I would love to see that happen. All right, now let's get to Best Actress.
Come with me. Think of what we could do together. Unlimited. Together we're unlimited. Together we'll be the greatest team there's ever been. Glenda.
Con Simon. Él se encarga de mis asuntos en Europa.
Con Simon. ¿Sabes que de hecho Simon y yo... Esto... Mingo. Mierda.
You get it?
So we're getting a divorce. You...
Of course! Are you stupid?
Иван, давай быстрее уже!
Сейчас! And thank you for making my last trip to America so fun.
Deputado Rubens Paiva?
Deve ter algum engano, não sou deputado há anos.
Não tem engano nenhum, não. O senhor vem com a gente.
E pra onde?
Prestar depoimento. É coisa de rotina.
Depoimento do quê, Rubens?
Eu só preciso me trocar.
Claro. Acompanha o doutor? Tem mais alguém em casa?
Não, só os meus filhos pequenos. Estão lá em cima, não tem necessidade de arma.
All right. Best Actress, I tell you. This is tough. Well, we know who's not winning. I think it's safe to say.
Where's she going to be seated?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I heard the news today that Netflix is paying for Carla to be there at the Academy or at the Oscars. I don't know. I don't know if she'll join the team or, what'll happen to her.
But
it's going to be interesting.
Did I asked before? Aren't they doing the 5 people talking about?
I haven't heard that yet.
They aren't doing it with the
I don't think they
actor and actor. They are doing it with technical categories. I don't know how that's going to work.
What?
But they did an article like 3 weeks ago where they said they're skipping the actors talking about actors, but they're doing something similar with some technical categories.
Stuff, yeah.
Well, they may put more detail into like what I know they're doing like with a song. They're not going to do the performance.
They're having 5 people come out and talk about the nominees.
No, they're not having 5
in some
people.
of these.
No, they're not going to do that.
Some of the crafts there.
Yeah,
I think they
Mark knows he reads the same shit I do. He probably writes it.
I'm wearing a shirt that says Academy Awards.
Oh, nice! I didn't even notice that.
I know.
Very nice.
I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they did announce that shortly after the Carla thing. They're like, we're gonna do it, but it's not the actors. We didn't say it's the actors. It's something else. So it sounds like more in the crafts.
Yeah, because who are they going to get to talk about her?
About Carla. Yeah, who's going to do that? But yeah, as for who's going to win, though, it's between Mikey Madison and Demi Moore. Well, and Fernando Torres. That's what's hard about this, is because Fernando Torres was not nominated at SAG, but again, I'm Still Here has had such momentum, and there's so many people championing Fernando Torres. And this again is the category they do love to give to the younger actress, so I could see Mikey winning, because she won at BAFTA, and that kind of surprised me. But again, SAG did give it to Demi Moore, and I think Demi's just story with this Oscar is too much to ignore. Like, it's just, she's been so amazing in every acceptance speech she's given, and yeah, and it's in such an incredibly brave performance. So I got to go with Demi, and I'll be incredibly excited to see that happen. But it would not surprise me to see either one of these other three win. Garney, what do you think?
Remember how last year, when everyone was talking about Lily Gladstone having such a great narrative to get that Oscar?
Yes.
And then it ended up being Emma Stone, who was awarded at BAFTA. Yeah, it's going to be Fernando Torres.
I like how you worked our way into that.
So yeah, it's gonna be Fernando Torres because the voting body is more international. There's enough support that got I'm Still Here into it, and it was all on the back of Fernando Torres' performance. It's a nepo vote because she's a nepo baby in there, but so is Mikey Madison.
Yeah.
I would vote for Cynthia Erivo, but I know they're not going to give it to her because they're going to wait for Wicked for Good. Because don't give it to someone when you know you can vote for them. Don't vote for them this year when you cannot vote for them next year. So yeah, I think it's going to be Fernando Torres. Just like the first
Who's Madison related
to? The
to?
only person who predicted Marion Cotillard winning for La Vie en Rose.
I did.
You weren't in the contest, Mark.
No, I was not.
That goes back a ways.
2007.
All right, Mark, what do you think?
Who is Mikey Madison related to?
James Madison, I believe.
The president?
James Madison, the
That's
president. I've got nothing. No idea.
How's she a nepo baby?
Yeah, I didn't know that either, Garney. He made that up.
Margaret Qualley is... I don't know. I didn't know Madison.
She's a different
I
person.
thought that was the thing, that everyone in the Spawn Ranch sequence and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood were all nepo babies.
All white brunettes aren't the same. Margaret Qualley and Mikey Madison are different people, Mark.
They're different people, Garney.
Right.
Okay, Mark, yes. To you, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, her parents are just psychologists. Never mind. I was just going off the Quentin Tarantino like everyone.
No worries.
That's okay, Garney.
Majority of Spawn Ranch.
No, we believe what Tarantino tells us, so I understand being led astray.
She's a necro baby. Her parents are dead. All right.
This is one of the 4 hardest races, and I haven't written about this one yet, so I may change. But right now, I know. Right now, I am with Jason in the fact that the narrative is just so compelling for Demi, and I think the Globe speech may have just won her the Oscar. And again, it's the opposite argument I'd make for Brody or against Chalamet, because they didn't get to see Demi win SAG. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways, and again, Torres is a great pick. It could go any one of these ways. I'm gonna stick with Moore for now.
All right, Jamie.
I'd love Mikey Madison to win. I don't give a shit about legacy and all this kind of stuff.
I'd be very happy if she won.
I think she's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And when I saw her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I said, "Oh, that's not very." I can't imagine she's going to be that good of an actress.
She got her ass kicked in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most flattering of roles, I guess, but no. She was just like a really off-putting presence. But she's just so incredibly charming and human, and she does what she needs to do with the movie.
Are you going to be brave enough to predict her, Jamie?
I would give it to her.
Well,
that's
not what we're doing here.
I'm gonna pick Demi Moore.
Okay.
Even though I don't think Demi Moore's the most deserving of the 5.
I loved it. I think she is, but I would be incredibly happy with Mikey Madison winning. I share your sentiment there, Jamie. All right, we've made it. It's time for the final category, and this could be interesting this year. So here are the nominees for Best Picture of the Year.
You like Cinderella? Yes, Cinderella. We are married. They're gonna have to accept that. Doesn't matter about anything, okay?
What do you think?
It's unusual, even for you.
Your English is impressive. Perhaps you can help your husband sound less like he shines shoes for a wage. I'm sorry, will you please pass that back?
I've been 10,000 miles in the mouth of a graveyard. And it's a hard rain gonna fall.
They are sequestered, and they must be shielded from all news that may influence their judgment. You understand?
No sane man would want the papacy. The men who are dangerous are the ones who do want it. That sounds ominous.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
It's not a prophecy. It's a story.
I don't care what you believe. I believe. I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. Under the Messiah's
Does your client have a name?
He desires to remain anonymous. If you're not willing to accept, I don't think it's worth talking. Just cut to the chase. To listen is to accept.
Olha, a tática do desaparecimento é uma das mais cruéis. Como é que alguém entra na tua casa, leva o teu marido, leva ele preso e depois diz, sumiu?
A comunidade internacional está de olho nessa história.
O Estado tem questões mais urgentes do que tentar remediar o passado?
Não.
What are you gonna do? He's now or never.
Hello.
Pretty girls should always smile.
You have no real power.
That's why I need you.
Don't let her get away! This wicked witch.
So, Garney, you got us started with the first prediction of the night, and you get to end it. So, what is winning Best Picture this year?
So, it feels like, with the preferential ballot, it's no longer Best Picture, but most commonly liked movie. That's what I feel is happening with the ballot. But at the same time, usually the most commonly liked movie has an issue. I mean, The Brutalist feels like it's a Best Picture. It just feels like that should be the movie. This is the year to pick that kind of movie. And it's, you know, even though I would vote Dune Part 2 is top of my ballot, Brutalist is a Best Picture movie. I kind of am interested to see if this whole most commonly liked movie ends up being Conclave or Complete Unknown. But given this surge that has happened, I'm predicting Anora. I'm not happy about it, and I wanted to predict something, go out on a risk just because I'm not happy about Anora winning, even though it's right there in the middle of the movies that are nominated this year. It's Anora.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, again, this is one of the 4, so I'm not done yet, and I picked Conclave back in March. That was my initial. Some of us do way too early predictions. I'm one of them. It's just fun. It's fun to guess ahead, right? So I picked Conclave in March, and I held on to Conclave all the way until I think it was the end of January or early February when Anora had that weekend where they won Critics' Choice, PGA, DGA. And at that point, it's like, oh my God, I can't continue. I have to go with Anora. I have to tell the truth of what story is happening right now. So switching to Anora, now it's like, Jesus, if I would have known. And what's funny is I was betting on Conclave to win BAFTA, obviously, and then I also thought it would win SAG back in the beginning when I was sticking with it. So if I would have known for sure it was winning those, I maybe wouldn't have come off of it. So I don't know if I'll circle back and go to Conclave, but right now it is hard to ignore something that wins both DGA and PGA. That is such a deadly combo. And then when you add to it the WGA and the Critics' Choice, I think Brokeback Mountain's the only one to ever win DGA, PGA, and WGA and lose Picture to Crash. I think that's the stat. So
yeah, you might be right.
It's something like that. So, yeah, for now it's Anora, and I'll probably stick with Anora.
God, you guys sound so upset about it.
I mean, it's a movie that I'm lukewarm about, and
I know.
It's fine, it's good, or it's my favorite film of the year. So that's the other side of this. I'm gonna hedge my bet emotionally and hope to be wrong.
All right, Jamey, what do you think?
Wow, there's so much writing on this. I'm gonna choose
a lot of pressure,
Anora. Anora. That's
all right.
it.
Wow, I didn't expect that we'd have a 4-way agreement on that, but it's it was my favorite film of the year, so I'm actually not depressed about it winning.
When I think of Anora, I think of 4-way. So.
But this is a year though that I see a case for The Brutalist winning. I could see Complete Unknown winning. I could see Conclave winning, because I think these are all films that are going to be in the top of the ballot. So yeah, I think it could be one of those years that we just see a shock.
It wasn't a good year for the 10 nominee thing, and they filled all the spots.
Not really. Yeah.
It wasn't a good year, period.
No, this was not one of the great film years for sure. We all agree on that.
A lot of good movies. Nothing that really blew me away.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've been kind of used to that the past few years with some movies that have just been outstanding.
Not last year.
Last year was incredible.
Last year was terrific.
Yes. So 4-way agreement on Anora there. Very nice. So we made it another year. I got to ask you guys, because I've heard no one talk about this. But what do you think are the chances that Bob Dylan will perform on the Oscars? I feel like they're going to try to make this happen.
Perform what?
Yeah, I could see it happening. I mean, they got Eminem out there.
Yeah.
He's an Oscar winner.
He did perform, albeit via satellite, in 2000 for Wonder Boys.
Because that's the thing, though, is even when he won, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
So to have him actually be there, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think that there will be something where he is on the screen.
Yeah. Because Chalamet has never met him. Yeah, I was amazed that Chalamet has not even met him. And I thought this could be a great moment of like the two of them performing.
Is somebody? Well, they don't do the whole somebody introducing the movie thing like they did with SAGs last night, right?
Not typically, not at the Oscars, no. But
because that would be the obvious place to use him.
I don't think he would
introduce
do that,
a complete unknown.
But I just for some reason
be there in person, but I think he would record an introduction. I mean, he posted on social media about how he said there's a movie coming out. It's based on a book. You should read the book after you see the movie. And he was involved with the movie. I mean, he gave notes on the script.
Well, we'll see. That was just one of my theories of
He's
we might
making
see.
money on his
It is
on his
true.
songbook.
It is. Well, all right, guys. Another enjoyable year. This is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see some surprises. Probably the only prediction we probably can make with certainty. But yeah. So thanks, guys.
I wonder if she's going to skip the red carpet. She'll probably skip the red carpet.
Why, who are we talking about now?
No way.
Carla.
No way.
Carla?
She's gonna
No.
go.
Yeah,
It's her.
she's gonna
It's
go-
probably the
She'll,
only
like,
time.
double down on all the posts.
Really?
On all her social media. She's
She'll be
ready
there.
to be there. She's
Oh, yeah,
gonna
yeah.
take her night.
That's cool.
And I
She
mean,
should.
the sad part about it, she was really good in the film. Like, I think she deserved the nomination. So it's just sad that it's like so much of this has happened, and sad that it's affected the film itself. Because I don't think it deserves that. I don't think any film deserves that from somebody. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she's received and all of that. So anyway.
Separate the art from the artist.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate it. And now I'm going to close with a special clip, which is what I think everyone wants to do about now.
I got to pee.
Yeah.